Big news. Eddie Spaghetti and I had a heads-up bet. The loser, I root for the Cowboys. He roots for the Giants. The loser, in honor of the big tuna, Bill Parcells, who coached both teams, would wear a tuna on his or her head. Here we go, Spaghetti. Did you do it? Did you go to the market?
I went. I was thinking about catching this one myself, but I said, you know what? The best fish you can get in the world is at usually the Ralph's supermarket. So went over to Ralph's.
That's true.
Got a very, very nice piece of some ahi tuna here. Oh my god, I'm the lucky one. I get to eat this thing after. Gonna sear this.
You're gonna eat it?
I'll sear this bad boy right after. I have a nice, nutritious meal. I'm just giving it a quick pat because I don't need this dripping on my clothes here. And this is going right in the head. No. Right in the head. It's like a nice. Oh, you know what? It's a heat wave. It feels cool in my head. Like I'm great. I'm so lucky right now.
Let's see how attached you are to it after an hour. If you actually want to eat it, or if you want to just dive into a dumpster ahead of time. Well, you're looking good, Eddie. I will say a lot of vitriol. You saw Parlay Kid back and forth on the text. It was looking bad. I couldn't even enjoy the game. Spaghetti was complaining about calls, and I'm complaining about calls. And I mean, you would have thought that if you listen to Spaghetti, the Giants should have been up 28-3 at half. What happened?
If anything, the 23-16 score might have been could have been a lot worse for the G-men. Am I right when I say that? I feel like Dallas controlled a good portion of that game. Give Daniel Jones credit. If it wasn't for him and his legs, the Giants might have lost that game by 30 last night. Dallas's defense, which we talked about, Sal, one of the top, what will we say now, 5 in the league? It might be top 2, might be top 3. This defense is fantastic. They're winning games with Cooper Rush, winning games without really just CeeDee Lamb, after a big drop, though, responded in a big way. That might be good.
Speaking of big drops, I thought they should drop him at halftime. I'm like, forget about like fantasy teams dropping. I'm like, maybe the Cowboys should cut him. He's not making any big plays, but I think he ended up with a respectable number.
It was very respectable, and our pal Zeke had a very respectable game, regardless of what Harry was saying about him. Called him an antique, called him a freak, called him whatever he called him.
We'll get to that.
And he had a pretty solid game, 15 carries, 73 yards, kind of matched Barkley. And we won't even talk about what Pollard did to the Giants' defense last night. So
go ahead, Harry. Jump in there, and then we'll circle back to Spaghetti.
Sure. First, I give Eddie a lot of credit in the text chain last night. Eddie, you stuck to your guns. I give you credit for that. For all Sal's one-liners coming at you, flying at me, flying at you. You stuck to your guns, Eddie. And if it wasn't for the Dallas defensive line, would have pulled this game
really
off.
Paid off. Look
but
at
still,
you.
Darren,
job.
Respectable. I think that's the word I would use. Zeke had a respectful game where he did have 73 rushing yards, 2 receiving yards. The over-under I had was under 73.5. He had 75. Now, that 27-yard run where it was 3rd and 15, great call by Kellen Moore. I'll give him. I don't give him credit. It was a great call. Surprised the Giants. They were stacked up on the right side. Zeke goes left. Didn't get touched for 20 yards. So take that away. Zeke has 48 yards and a 1-yard touchdown.
Take that away.
So,
let's just take that away for every
but I will say this, Darren.
Let's take Barkley's away. Let's take Barkley's total away. He averaged 3 yards a carry if you take his big run away. What else do you want to take away, Harry?
But on that run by Barkley, he broke 2 tackles to break free and then ran for the touchdown. Zeke didn't get touched.
Okay. Harry's got a very, very specific
but hear me out here, Sal. Pollard, though, like Darren said, he runs hard. He's quick. He's excellent. He should get even more carries than what Zeke gets.
Harry, don't worry about it. They're figuring it out. It's okay. The difference is the Cowboys don't need Zeke. We get it. We ate a terrible contract. He is what he is. His yards per carry goes down every single year. We got the 1-2 punch with Pollard. Zeke doesn't have to be great. Saquon has to be great for this Giants team to do well. So that's the difference. But take away, Harry's right. Take away the 24 pressures on Jones, and the Giants are right in that game. Take away.
Like Harry said, Eddie stuck to his guns. Harry didn't stick to his guns because I'm pretty sure he said he would have Tuna on his head too today if the Giants.
When did I say that? I didn't say that.
All right, listen, whatever you're betting, teasers, over, under, do it through Caesars because they have all the names. Caesar himself, Cleo, the Mannings, Henrik Lundqvist, and now yours truly. Yes, Against All Odds is now a proud member of the Caesars empire. And you know what it is that sets Caesars Sportsbook and Casino apart from the others? It's the perks. It's the only sports betting app with Caesars rewards. So every time you place a bet, win or lose, you get reward credits, which could use towards game tickets, bonuses, experience, free stays at iconic Caesars destinations, and more. And your very first bet, check this out, Harry. It's on Caesars. Up to $1,250. If you win, congrats. If you don't, you'll get it all back as a free bet. That first bet also gives you 1,000 tier credits and 1,000 reward credits, putting you closer to the types of perks only Caesars can offer. So download the app, use promo code CZRFULL, and go full Caesars this season. Let's do this. Riverboat Casino. The captain of the Riverboat Casino reached out, wants to know what was the most embarrassing moment of Week 3. Was it the Miami Dolphins butt punt 3-1 odds? Was it Michael Irvin forgetting his glasses for the pregame show 5-1 odds? Bills offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey having a meltdown in the booth. That was a good one. 7-1 odds. Or Harry being late for the show yesterday and then singing, in quotes, an anti-Zeke Elliott ditty, 10-1 odds. Or the field at even. Bri, start us off here.
Yeah, is it weird? Like maybe the fact that I can't remember anything that happened 2 days ago, mine's not working. But it's funny. I really wanted to do Mac Jones, right? The Mac Jones meme to me was hysterical, especially when you figure out at the end of the day it was a high ankle sprain. Like his life is not going to be over, it doesn't seem like. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. In that moment, he probably thought season was over. But I'm going to go with Jimmy G. His performance the other night, losing 11-10, but that safety that he had, stepping out of the end zone. It's funny because the Orlovsky running out of bounds, I know they talked about this probably on ESPN, but Orlovsky running out of bounds will always be memorialized as like one of the funniest plays ever in the history. This obviously doesn't compare to that, but in terms of being embarrassed of stepping out of bounds on a safety, when you lose that game 11-10, I think we'll remember that one. So I'm going to give Jimmy G most embarrassing for the week.
That's a good one. I can't tell if it's a Jimmy Genius move or not, but stepping out of the end zone saved them 4 points because he threw a pick six. I'm not sure if he knew he was out of the end zone or not, if it was like a free play the other way or what, but there you go. All right, Parlay Kid,
this is an
most
easy
embarrassing
one for me,
moment of
Sal.
Week 3.
The Parlay Kid travels, gets up at 5 a.m, travels from upstate New York to make the podcast at an early time yesterday. Our buddy Harry, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found, Sal. Had no idea we were doing an early podcast. I don't know what's happened to this guy over the last week. And then has the gall to come on and sing. Calls it singing. If that was singing, then I'm Pavarotti, Sal. Am I right? Give me a break. Singing about Zeke, right? So he's singing about that.
It's not singing. It's reading, and it's painfully reading words that he wrote down.
As Brian says, like
leaping
leaping Lanny Poffo. Then he comes up with that garbage.
Right.
Loses on that pick of Zeke, saying how terrible he was. Zeke has a pretty solid game. Scores a touchdown. Pretty
time touchdown. Nifty move. Pretty tough yard there, Harry.
That's a good fantasy game from Zeke last night. If you have him on your fantasy team, I think this is I think it was a total embarrassment by Harry. I wanted a Zeke apology on the podcast today. I wonder if I'm going to get that. Yeah. So to me, Sal, that's you add it up, being late and singing, and then losing the bet that you sung about that you bring in your alter ego, which, by the way, I do like H-Dog. That was some funny stuff. I do like H-Dog is certainly much cooler than the real Harry. Can we all admit that? The
bar is low, but
see that more. But yes, that was the most embarrassing moment of the week. And
I'm with you, Parlay Kid.
Absolutely.
I have nothing really to add. That was my answer as well, except that Harry doesn't really get embarrassed. I mean, this is a guy who asked Daughtry to sign his chest a few days ago. So embarrassing for others to on the outside looking in. Yes, that's embarrassing. I don't think Harry gets embarrassed, but that's also
we actually say
my
we're going
pick.
3 hours early taping? I don't recall that ever. When was that discussed?
So many times. I felt like we
it was
discussed
at
this a
least
lot.
in the email. It was definitely in the email I sent the night before, right? Okay, so that answers your question.
Wow,
That's it.
kinda.
You only had a 14-hour head start. Yeah.
After
Okay.
so many
Kinda.
emails, you don't check the
What do we
time.
have to put it in skywriting, Harry? How do we need to communicate this to you? I have no idea. But go ahead, Harry. What's your answer for this?
Look,
I don't even care.
I know,
I
who
don't
cares?
care what Harry's answer is. Let's move on.
I was just going to
let's
say the
move on.
butt fumble. Not embarrassing as the butt punt. Not as embarrassing as the butt fumble with Sanchez, but it was crazy that with 1:30 to go in the fourth, up 4 to make that down to 2. At Morstead, you don't have a ton of room here, man. His head's down the whole time, takes his strides as if he was punting from the 50, and just drills it into his teammates' buttocks. It was just, and the stage was set for that to be possibly the worst of all time because Bills down 2, get the ball back with 1.5 to go, but didn't work out that way. Miami's defense rose to the occasion, but I'm going to go butt punt.
I got the punters weighing in. He said, "At least I showed up to the game on time." So he goes, and also the Dolphins won.
Right.
H-Dog lost.